21.5 kilograms. Who would have thought he'd be conceding 24 kilograms to an opponent? I tell you what, the beast from the East lives up to his nickname.
Valuev, Australian fans may remember him before that. He used to box out here under Vlad Wharton 3 or 4 times. He was in Kostazou's camp, and now he's gone back to fight in Russia, and he's just an amazing physical specimen, David.
Yes, but he's also very limited with his boxing ability. He's been very well protected right along with his career. Bob Mirovic has been thrown in at the deep end. I remember actually seeing his first fight back at the Workers' Club over at Cronulla in 1987.
So here we go. 8 rounds in this heavyweight contest. And has Bob ever looked that small in a ring?
Just a huge size difference there. And Angelo Hyder told me on the phone yesterday, this is one of the few fights ever. And we can see this. This is Bob Mirovic's going to be his plan. He said, if we can't beat in boxing, we're going to do a little bit of rugby league style.
That's Angelo's forte there. He knows how to rough him up.
Look at the size difference there. 7'2", the Russian there. And Angelo was telling me that Bob Mirovic's going to be using his speed, his movement. Oh, great right hand there from Mirovic.
He's very cumbersome, the big Russian. So Bob's there. If he can throw the punches and be in on him, he's got a good chance.
Have we ever said Big Bob's actually looked the faster fighter out there?
It's a one-off, I think, Clinton. But he's using a good style. He's being aggressive, trying to throw punches early on.
I'd like to see him use that overhand right again. So you can step right in with it and close the distance. And he's on the end of Valuev's punches. There's a lot of power coming through there.
Of course, Mirovic was a late addition to this card. He was going to fight the German Tino Hoffman, and Hoffman had to pull out. And Angelo Hyder said to me, Bob said, bring anyone, I'll fight anyone. The true Aussie battler, Bob Mirovic here. And look, he's unloading with that right hand.
Well, Bob's actually improved over the last 12 months. He had quite a poor record up until then. It was 50-50, but he's strung together. In his last 12 fights, he's had 10 wins.
Which is a good thing to say about someone 37 years of age now, isn't it?
Exactly. He's like fine wine.
September 2001, he came off the canvas to beat Roger Eisenreich. Since that time, he's turned to a real Australian cult hero of boxing. The fans just love him. They can't get enough of big mob Bob Mirovic.
And this literally the biggest test of his career. The Russian, 29 years of age, turns 30 on Thursday. Unbeaten across 32 fights, 31 wins, 24 by way of knockout, 1 no contest registered in that.
We'll qualify that, though, Clinton, by saying that Valuev hasn't fought any real quality of heavyweights. They're using more of a marquee, butterbean style opponent, event these days rather than a genuine contender.
Well, one of the guys that he went 4 rounds with, Butterbean, took him out and won. So just shows you the standard of opponent he's faced so far. He was actually a field athlete back in Russia.
Just an amazing size of him. But Angelo Hyder, the trainer, was very, very confident going into this fight. He feels that Bob's just going to be too active, too quick on his feet for this man, and was going to win if not stop him, win a good decision.
I assume you're going to tell me, David, the shot put or the discus as opposed to the high jump or something.
Exactly.
Closing stages, round number 1.
You can hear Angelo in the difference there in the background calling out 5 seconds ago. Good round there for Bob Mirovic. Very good start.
Certainly was. I'd have to give it to him, actually. He landed the cleaner punches throughout. And he did the right thing. He didn't stand in front of him. He didn't back away to corners. He kept moving. That was a good round from Bob Mirovic.
And good to see the Aussie contingent in the crowd of 4,000 at the Formula 1 circuit inside the giant marquee. And all, as you would expect, wearing green as we have a look at some of the action from round number 1.
Good right hand there from Bob Mirovic. Look, prepared to exchange in close air. That's what we want to see from him.
I think the only thing that Valuev has in close is his size, just to lean on Bob. He can't punch inside. He's better off at the distance to punch.
It's like leaning up against a brick wall, wouldn't it, David? Just the size of the man. Plenty of green shirts there in the crowd.
It's more like the wall falling on top of you.
Resides in St. Petersburg, stands 217 centimetres.
It's a good start for Bob Mirovic. He's a confidence fighter. He does his best when he's going out there confident. He'd take a lot from that first round. I think Angelo Hyder would be very pleased.
Yeah, that's not what he has to do there, backing away into the corner. He's got to give himself options, try and stay in the middle of the ring.
such a different fight for Bob too. He's always used to throwing punches straight ahead or down even. But having to punch up at Valuev, just this monster that really is the beast from the east.
Certainly is. This is the style Bob normally has to fight, coming up the way Valuev is.
Here, Angelo Hyder in the background there yelling at Bob. He wants side-to-side movement, not standing right in front of the Russian.
And Valuev there, cutting the ring off very well. He's not trying to follow Bob, he just cuts it off, takes his time. He's improved considerably since he fought out here in Australia.
He's been quite active of late.
The count being put on Mirovic here. Well, that seemed to come out of nowhere.
Bob seemed to slip there and take the knee, and then he got hit when he was down.
Interesting call there from the referee. Bob doesn't seem to be hurt.
He got stung to the body there when he actually took the knee. He took one to the ribs.
He's breathing deeply at the moment. So concerning sign halfway through round number 2. And Valuev getting on the attack now. You can hear the din in the background of the motor cars in the background. Big day of boxing and motor racing here at the circuit.
Not a bad ploy to slow him down a little bit there.
Which he needs to do, but as you said, David, just every time they're in close, Valuev's just leaning on Bob, and it's got to take it out of you.
It's very hard to hold up. He doesn't want to get in a wrestling match with him.
Valuev's just trying to wear Bob down here, but the true Aussie battler there is, he's still coming back.
As you know, Bob will always come back in and have a go.
It's Valuev's round at this point with half a minute remaining.
Bob's just slowing up a little bit here. You can see he's a little bit more fatigued.
He's stepping straight in there too when he throws that overhand right. He's got to step out to the side a bit.
And another stumble from Mirovic. No count put on this one.
But it's still tiring. Having to pick yourself up on the canvas is very hard.
It's a better round for Valuev, that one.
Closure of the second of 8 rounds. And Valuev certainly taking the points there.
Yeah, 10-8 round there, and you can see Billy Hussein in the corner.
Don't fucking give up on yourself, Bob. Don't give up, mate. Bob, you're winning the fight, mate. It's 1 round each. It's 1 round each, Bob. You understand that? He is blowing out Bob. He had nothing in it at the end. The start of that round, he had a bit of sting. You trust me, Bob? If you want it, brother. Now breathe, please. Listen to me, Bob. Listen to me now. Look, mate. If you don't concentrate...
Well, great audio there from Bob's corner. Do you trust me, Bob? I like that. You want that confidence.
Inspirational speeches in the corner there from Angelo. Just as we watched the replay of the knockdown, Bob seemed to go down and take a knee there before the punch actually landed.
The count was put on him. Do you trust me, Bob? Great to hear.
It's actually the first time I've heard Angelo not swear too much in the corner.
I was worried at the start when we went in there, David, but it was all right. Here's the 3rd round, and Bob's coming out swinging.
Just an imposing sight that Bob has to come out and face. He's man-mounted.
Yeah.
And as Angelo said, he is going to come out hard the first minute of every round.
That's what Angelo wants, a bit of side-to-side movement there from Bob. He doesn't want him backing him up in the corner.
It's a nice left through the middle, too, from Bob.
And fighting his way out of the corner there.
He's not giving up, Mirovic. He's really exchanging there.
He just doesn't want to get silly.
Get too adventurous. Now things livening up in this 3rd round.
He needs to give himself room again now, Bob. He's hurt for Valuev.
He's having a rest now, Bob. Taking his time, trying to pace himself.
Remember, Valuev has not been beaten in 32 professional fights.
Now he's got all the tools, the Valuev, the size, the reach. He's still not coming and throwing huge shots. There's a good right hand there from Bob to the side of the jaw. He's got such a huge target to aim at, David.
Yeah. He's quite cumbersome, Big Valuev. He hasn't got any speed whatsoever, but he just throws so much weight behind the punches.
He'd be a handy bouncer at a nightclub, wouldn't he?
I wouldn't be causing any trouble.
From the fights that I remember seeing of Valuev in the past, he really just more wore his opponents down than outright knocked them out. And we can see that sort of style here again today, just using his huge size and physical advantages.
Final minute, third round. And after Valuev threatened to get on top in the second round, this has been a handy one at least for Bob.
He's not giving up. He's doing exactly what Angelo's asked him to do. He's throwing punches back. Good left hook there.
He wore one, but he's actually landing the cleaner punches.
This is a great fight. They're just standing toe-to-toe here, exchanging. What a great way to start the card. True Aussie battler Bob Mirovic giving his all against this monster. Good right hand there from Valuev.
But Bob's going straight back.
Just a bit of a trickle of the blood coming there from Mirovic's nose. He's taken a few shots to give some. Referee trying to break them up there. Bob trying to make the most of these breaks.
A late one from Valuev as a mouthguard pops out from Mirovic. Well, an entertaining third round. Probably mark it to the Russian again, David.
I would actually call that one even. Bob landed a few good punches in that round. That the Russian wasn't able to dominate. That he put good pressure on the Russian, but definitely Bob Mirovic landed the cleaner punches throughout.
Despite that punch landing, I thought it was a good round for Bob Mirovic. It was better than his second round. You can make a case for Bob winning the round, but possibly the judges may give it to Valuev or a draw round. This is an open fight, though. Either fighter can still win this bout. Bob's in the contest.
How much does fatigue become a factor here?
That's the biggest concern, you know, as we talked about. Valuev just every time they're in a clinch, Valuev's just leaning on that 140 plus kilos weighing down on Bob Mirovic. It has to take its toll over the distance.
Yeah, and the way that he got in the back of Bob's neck as well and pushed him down before, that kind of stuff's very, very difficult. That tires you out completely.
Both men winning their respective countries' heavyweight title in the late 90s.
Bob's got a good man in his corner for this fight. Angelo Hyde, a very passionate man about the sport. He really loves Bob Mirovic, what he's done in the ring, and you know, Angelo just keeps pumping him up, and the way that Bob's resurrected his career recently, you've got to put a lot down to Angelo Hyde and the way he's helped him bring out his best. And he's still in this contest. He's trying to move around here, give some angles.
Yeah, to this point, worth a trip to Germany.
Bob's always going to be in the contest as long as he's standing up. He'll give it his all every time.
Well, even in that fight against Eisenreich, probably his most famous win to date, he came back off of the canvas and come back to stop Eisenreich. So Bob's a tough man, and he's always going to go out there and give his 110%.
I'd be too scared to go back to the corner with Angelo anyway.
You can hear Angelo in the distance. He doesn't want Bob in the corner. They don't want him sitting in the corner. He's just a sitting target there. They want him moving side to side.
He's got to position himself in the center of the ring. He's got more options there to get away.
It's just very hard, David, when Valuev takes up so much space.
Yes, and he does cut the ring off well, as I said before. He steps right across.
And now, Valuev has him in the corner once again, working to the body.
There's a good right hand there for Valuev then, as Bob was ducking down, trying to avoid it. So had some really good exchanges, these two.
Valuev tends to put his weight on him too. As soon as he's got Bob in the corner, then he'll put his weight on. Tire Bob out.
The last 7 fights for Mirovic haven't gone beyond the 5th round. We're in the 4th at the moment with a minute remaining. And just sucking in some air for the time being.
There's a good swinging right hand there from Bob. Landing on the top of the head. You can see in those clinches, he's just trying to, as Valuev leaves a good right hand there, Bob's just trying to make the best of every rest he can get.
Yeah, Valuev's starting to show his dominance now, his size.
Again, you can hear Angelo. Bob, don't stay there. Get out of that corner. We don't need a microphone on Angelo. I can hear him very clearly in the effects microphone. Not sure whether I share his optimism just at the time being. Final half-minute, round number 4.
As I said, Angelo Hyder, one of the most passionate men in boxing you'll ever find.
Halfway through the scheduled 8 rounds. And Valuev getting on top.
Yeah, that was a bit of a round there for Nicolay Valuev. He landed the better punches throughout. Bob Mirovic's definitely still in the contest. This is a winnable fight for him. Just whether he can just sustain the pressure of the physical presence of Valuev.
Yes, this is the turning point now. Can he actually do it? Bob would have to be feeling, oh, geez, what am I going to do in this next round? Do I really want to go on with it or not? And this is where it really tests him out. I think he'll come through. He'll put his heart on the line and really go for it.
So is it time to leave it all on the line right now, or does he still keep some in reserve, or does he pick a point and say, well, this has got to be it?
Mate, he's got to go for it. He really has to show it now. This round is the turning point, because if he can win this round well, Valuev will ruin his confidence, you know?
See Angelo Hyder talking to him there.
Give up now to lose this fight. Have a drink, Bob. If you fight this fight off, get up. Listen. Bob, come on.
Well, you talk about the inspirational words there, and well, you'd like to have Angelo in your corner. Round number 5.
Valuev is used to people folding after the 4 rounds. You know, if Bob can stay there and actually come back hard on top of him and win this round, Valuev will start to have questions.
Bob's actually one of the more experienced fighters that Valuev's been fighting of late. As I said, not really any names on his record. Look at these two exchanging here. Lefts and right hands from both fighters.
Now Mirovic covers up. An early flurry.
Great heart there from Bob. He's prepared to stand in there and exchange. He's taking a lot of punches back. He's trying to show some movement. He's trying to do what Angelo's asking for.
Come on.
Poor referee having to get in between these two big boys. Sort them out.
Referee might consider start warning Bob there for these extended clinches, because he's really trying to take advantage of every second.
Stop holding for the last time.
Good call. Call up him. Stop holding for the last time, the call. Still got a fair way left to travel, though, in round 5.
Yeah, Bob's just letting him set. And he's letting Valuev set for his punches. What he's got to do, every time Valuev looks to throw his right hand, he's just got to throw his jab out and move. By coming in, clinching every time, he's tiring himself out.
Just such a hard fight for Bob, because just the difference in size, it's so hard for him to land his punches without being in range. It's just...
And this is going to tire him out. Doing things like that, Valuev just coming over the top of him.
And the referee growing frustrated there.
But on that occasion, Valuev did push him to the ground, and Bob maybe taking advantage of a few extra seconds rest, and he's showing a lot of heart here, Bob Mirovic.
Very taxing conditions inside of the marquee. Temperatures in the high 30s in Germany throughout the course of the week. So they're really feeling it here. Final minute, round number 5.
Bob keeps landing that overhand right, but it lands right on the top of head of Valuev, and he doesn't seem to feel it.
Valuev's got his confidence up now.
Yeah, he looks good.
Bob's got to do something dramatic. He's got to land a good, clean punch that actually hurts Valuev.
To this point, another round for the beast from the east.
But as you said, David, warning there from the referee for the low blows. As you said, David, Valuev has improved a lot. I've been impressed. He's a lot better than we saw him here a few years ago in Australia.
Oh, certainly.
And about to get the bell for the completion of 5. Angelo Hyder in there very quickly. David, you're scoring it still the Russians' way.
Oh, definitely. He's about 2 points up now on my card, and I believe he's done enough in this fight so far to fight.
We just see there Bob Mirovic getting up on the canvas. Valuev squashing him there.
He's a monster of a man.
See Bob trying to hold on there, get a little break, and just a lot of weight pressing down on him.
Not a lot of grace there, is there, when they go down?
This is a real heavyweight contest.
He's very reminiscent of Primo Canero, the heavyweight champion of the 30s.
Just a lot bigger, David.
A lot bigger.
Round number 6. The beast from the east, the world's tallest boxer, if you just joined us, 217 centimetres, dwarfing our own Bob Mirovic, standing 196 centimetres. And at the moment, it's the Russian on points, 6 of a scheduled 8 rounds.
I'm still throwing that overhand right. I obviously think that's the way to go.
It's the only punch that's landed cleanly so far.
As you say, though, the question, is it being felt too much by the Russian?
He looks in good condition. He's done a few 12-rounders of late, and for a big man, he's still going forward well.
He hasn't deteriorated that much physically across the course of the fight, has he? He wasn't a quick bloke to start with.
No, he's just a constant come-forward pace and picking his shots, not swinging widely. Bob's still trying to use a bit of movement there, trying to clinch. So he's going to be careful, though. If he's in between, he's not on the outside, he's not on the inside, and Blue will just pick him off.
You can't just stay there and let Valuev tee off on him. He's got to actually bend down a little bit lower to get his power. At the moment, he's trying to stand up too tall, and he can't get his weight behind his punches.
May get to the stage where if Bob just keeps taking too many punches, Angelo may stop the contest. He's got a lot of feeling for Bob Mirovic, and he's given his best. He's given 110%, and
he certainly hasn't lost any respect here at all.
Oh, definitely not. It's such a hard fight for Mirovic, and as we said, Blue was an undefeated fighter. He's got a bit of talent. He's got a bit of skill. He's got huge side advantages. It's always going to be a hard fight for Bob Mirovic, and no shame. He's really giving his all, Bob Mirovic. He's putting on an excellent performance.
No one else wanted to get in there with Valuev either.
That's part of the problem they've had over the years. I know when Vlad Wharton was promoting him, he was always having trouble getting opponents. They see him and they want to duck out the back door. But Bob Mirovic said, bring him on, I'll fight anyone.
And he's taken him to 6. Final minute of round number 6 now. Just soaking up some blows, taking in the breaths.
Valuev seems happy to just coast along and win on points in this fight. He isn't trying to pressure for the knockout. It's a nice overhand right there by Bob.
Again working Mirovic into the corner.
Bob's still landing some good shots every time Valuev comes in.
Yeah, he's picking him off, but as you saw then when he went back to the corner, he's standing too upright. But he's got to bend down low when he throws the punches. I know it's hard when someone's taller than you. You want to try and be at the same height, but when you're lower, you can get your body weight behind the blows.
As Mike Tyson showed so often during his career when he was in his prime, David.
Yes.
Well, he's seen off the 6th round as Mirovic. Again, another one for the beast from the east, the Russian. So 2 rounds remaining, but that respect word, as we were talking about earlier, certainly hasn't lost any by being here.
No, Bob's really showing what he's all about. He was never the most talented fighter as we watch Angelo Hyder.
Listen to me. Listen to me. He can't hurt you. Hey, you believe that? Well, I'm telling you, Bob, you can only give up. Hey, and that means hands down and not punching. Twist his ears straight down. Well, listen to me, Bob. Bob, breathe. Breathe deep.
Пошел мимо. Люди смеются. Где техника? Там мешок возле тебя уже не знает, как вот, когда ты его ударишь, он ждет уже. Ты ударить не можешь, сопли развесил.
And looking very composed in the other corner, Nicolay Valuev.
I'd still really like to see Valuev in against a really top-class opponent. I think it'd be an interesting contest, David.
I certainly would be, but no one wants to risk it.
Yeah.
Why would you? He doesn't bring anything to the plate except his size. People aren't going to fight him without money being there.
That's just a slip there from Bob Mirovic. It's wet in the corner, and Bob taking advantage there, just pointing out to the referee.
true sign of professionalism.
Bob's a very experienced professional. He's been around a long time. And as you said, that first fight back at Cronulla was a long time ago, David.
I know the scary bit is I was fighting then too.
May 15, 1987. More than 16 years ago. And Bob Mirovic still going strong at 37 years of age.
But this is what his fans love about Bob Mirovic. Bob Mirovic, doesn't matter who the opponent is, he always goes in, he gives his best, he gives 100%. And as we've seen his record, he hasn't won all of his fights, but the Australian fans just love him because he's a true Aussie battler. And, you know, most people would have turned this fight down at the last minute. Most people would want to fight Nicolay Valuev, but look at Bob, he's still in there trading. He's got a bloody nose, he's taken some shots around the head, but he's still trying to throw back. That's what we love about Bob Mirovic, he's just having a go.
One good thing is that most fighters would have turned this fight up. By now, after that last round, they'd question themselves. Bob's still in there, he's still having a go all the time.
Valuev starting to slow down a bit himself here. As I said, he's carrying a lot of weight around, and he's probably been a little surprised too if Mirovic hasn't seen him fighting before or for a while.
He'd just come in here expecting the win. It would be good for Valuev to try and throw a right uppercut. I think he'd be successful at that. But he's waiting for Bob a little bit too much, and that's a sign of his inexperience as well. And someone like Lennox Lewis, it'll be all over.
Well, as I've said before, Valuev hasn't fought a very high quality of opponents. He's been very active of late. But Bob knows all the tricks of the trade, very well skilled by Endo Hyder. Billy Hussein, the co-trainer of Team Fennec, and the brother of Nadal Skinny Hussein and Hussein Hussein in the corner. And
well, Billy's wife actually gave birth to a son, Hilal, last night.
It's special best wishes out to the Hussein family, Mariam, their second son for Billy Hussein. And he was very concerned about going away to this fight, but he knew that he had to go away with Danny Green and Bob Mirovic. But congratulations to Billy and Mariam and all of the Hussein family.
Yeah, terrific news. Well, Mirovic refusing to go away as we work our way towards the bell. Closure of round 7 of a scheduled 8, and it looks like we might be going the distance. And Angelo Hyde, I reckon he'd be pretty happy the way his charge fought that round out there.
It wasn't a bad round for Bob Mirovic. I suppose you still have to give it to Nicolay. Landed the bigger punches and the more punches, but you know, Bob's still in there. He's still making a go of it, and who knows, one punch can change the course of the fight, David.
It certainly can, and this is a very good learning fight for Valuev. This will actually help him come to the next level if he's ever going to get there.
Bob's showing a good chin. Look at that shot he took there. Bob standing upright and not going down on the canvas. We have seen him on the canvas in the past, and Bob's shown a real lot of heart in this fight. I can't emphasise that enough.
Let's see if we can swing across to Angelo Hyde and the listeners.
The animated Russian trainer there, he's really getting fired up.
Manvel Gabrielin. That was the stumble from earlier.
That was in the round. Water left on the canvas there in the corner, which is always a problem.
Here we go, final round in this heavyweight contest. And the beast from the east, Nicolay Valuev, clearly ahead on points, you would imagine. But nonetheless, Bob Mirovic will be fairly content at the end of this with his effort here today, no question. And who knows what he can conjure up here in the final 3 minutes. He's coming out aggressive.
We look at Valuev there, using his left lead, trying to bring Bob straight onto his right hand. Bob's got to be careful of it. That's just the thing to do, rush in and hold. Valuev is going to tee off in the corner there with his right hand.
Bob up on his stage.
Still a bit of spring about him.
You don't see that very often. Bob Mirovic on his toes dancing. And Angelo was telling me Bob Mirovic's a very versatile fighter. He can stick and move when he has to.
He's almost got his second wind up, hasn't he? He was looking very fatigued there late in the 6th.
I think he's got a lot of confidence just from going these rounds.
Yeah.
And he's in the final round. He knows he can go the distance now. He's got enough left.
And he's not giving Valuev the room to punch. And every time Valuev's looking to land that right hand, he's closing the distance every time.
Referee warning Mirovic there for extended holding time. Bob's fighting a good round here. Got the turtle defence up there, used by Archie Moore and George Foreman.
Wants to get out of that corner. Valuev's starting to land a few punches there. Bob's right at the end of his range.
And he's got less than 90 seconds to stave this one off. Crowd getting involved inside the marquee at the Nürburgring racetrack. And they dance again.
Valuev's getting a little bit frustrated by the tactics here of Bob Mirovic, but he's doing the right thing. The crowd get behind big Bob Mirovic here.
Oh, as he's wrestled to the canvas.
Referee's had his work cut out in this fight between these two huge men. And Mirovic's a big guy, you know, he's standing next to Bob Mirovic. He's a big guy in himself, and he looks small next to Valuev.
Rarely do you say that about Big Bob. But looks like you'll see the distance out here. Just a half-minute remaining.
In a way, this is a good win in itself for Bob. There's a lot of people who thought that he wouldn't go the distance. They were predicting a first or second round knockout, but he's shown great heart, and he's tried to fight the game plan that Angelo set down for him, and he's done it fairly well. Just wasn't able to land the volume of punches.
It's very, very difficult with someone this size. Even you see his overhand right there. It's very hard to get it over the Russian's left lead.
Well, the final stages of the fight now. And the beast from the east, you fancy, is going to extend his career record to 32-0. But Angelo Hyder coming in for his charge. He's fairly happy with Bob Mirovic's performance. We gave him the opening round. Perhaps one other one was shared. But the Green Machine Army, well, they're happy Big Bob saw that one through.
That's just a win in itself, as I said. Look, they're getting behind the Australian, and great support there. And, you know, it's getting really exciting. Getting really excited here in the studio. Just watching this, it's going to be so good when we get that main event with Danny Green. And look at Angelo Hyder. It's like a win in itself. There's Angelo Hyder, Brantley Keys are in the corner there from the Daily Telegraph, Billy Hussein. They're all supporting Big Bob.
He looks pretty fresh in the corner too after the fight.
I think Bob would be very pleased with his performance. Obviously disappointed. We don't believe he's going to win the fight. But no, I think Bob would be very, very, very happy with going the distance. A Rocky type ending there in a way, going the distance.
Collation of the scorecards. Crowd slowly building up. As we mentioned earlier, big day of sport in Germany. It's the DTM Motor Racing Series at the Nürburgring Motor Racing Circuit, and this giant marquee erected at the end of the pit straight. So while the cars was around outside, the folks watching that for the time being before they make their way in for the main event coming up a little later, the WBC Super Middleweight World Championship between Marcus Bayer and Danny Green. Still got plenty more to come on the undercard as we await the result, the expected result of this 8-round heavyweight contest.
And David had to be quite impressed with Valuev. For a big man, he fought fairly well. He's definitely improved since we've seen him.
Yeah, he stayed very calm. The way that he cut off the ring was very impressive. He just wasn't able to tee off on Bob. Bob showed his experience there by closing the distance.
Aussie, oi, bye-bye, baby.
You got to love Bob Mirovic, haven't you?
How could you?
He's won a lot of friends today.
Mate, he's a fantastic guy as well.
Nicolay Valuev.
The result for Nicolay Valuev, 32-0 now across his professional career.
Biggest cheer for Bob Mirovic there as he raised his hands.
20-12 with 2 draws, his record now.
For those Australian boxing fans, it's not the German tradition to give the 3 scores out. They normally just read out the winner on points, as opposed to where we see in America and Australia where they read out the 3 judges' scorecards. So just a win on points there for Nicolay Valuev, and we'd have to assume it'd be unanimous on all 3 judges' scorecards.
Well, really.